Okay, we are live. So, hello everyone, and welcome my guests today, Dr. Anthony Mattis and Tereza Dobrotová. Hi, guys. Thank you for being here.
Hi, Reka. Thank you for inviting us. Hi,
Hi,
everybody.
Reka.
Yay!
Thank you.
Thank you. And just at the beginning, if you want to listen to this in Hungarian, we have translation. So you can find the Zoom link in the description and you can listen to it in Hungarian as well, because we were talking English. So, yeah, this is just a side note. And then we are diving into this beautiful topic. So, inviting your body to greater possibilities. Wow. Even just this title is like so melting and so amazing. Anthony, for the people who are
Yes.
new or haven't experienced this yet, that what does it mean inviting your body to greater possibilities, and how can even we invite our bodies to create or generate greater possibilities in our everyday life? So can you tell us a little bit more about this?
Yeah. Well, that's the billion-dollar question, right? And, our bodies are so unique to ourselves, right? It's your body. And so when there's so much information out in the world around, what the right things to do for your body are or what's the wrong things to do, and people can tend to get overwhelmed. And then there's using our body as a coping mechanism to avoid different stresses or awarenesses. When we're depressed, we do things to our body that maybe not necessarily the greatest choice. And sometimes when we're happy and to celebrate, we sometimes make choices that aren't the greatest. So there's a lot of information out there, but really at the end of the day, it's ultimately about what works for you, what works for your body. Because my point of view has always been, at least this lifetime, this is the body you get. If you wear it out, you're going to have no place to live. So it's like you might as well get clear about what actually works for your body so that you can start making choices, not based on right and wrong, good and bad, but you can start making choices based on awareness of what actually works for your body.
Hmm. I think most people tend to more torture their body or use it or just ignore it. So, do you have some tools that we can practice in our everyday life to change
Yeah.
this?
Well, it's not only that people torture their bodies, they also it's almost like they refuse to allow themselves the enjoyment of their bodies, the joy of embodiment. So for
Mm.
me, it's like it's so interesting. It's like if they know that something is actually going to create pleasure and actually truly contribute, for whatever reason, the distractor implant of guilt will come in. But yet they're okay with torturing their body and destroying their body, which I find very, very interesting. So tools, really, it's just learning how to talk and communicate with your body. you know what would you like to do? What will work for you? Is this particular activity contributing to you or not? Like, talk to your body as if it's another person, and be willing to hear what your body's saying. Like, hey, you know what, when you do this, it doesn't work for us. Because you, the being, and then there's the body, right? The body is one day going to disappear, but the being is still there. But sometimes the being gets in the way of what the body requires based on all sorts of things, points of view and whatnot. So again, I would say the number one tool is communicate with your body, talk to it, talk with it, and
Mhm.
don't ever, 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 ever let someone else tell you what's right for your body. Everything truly is an
Mm.
interesting point of view. Because look, if and you know this, Reka, because you're in the the medical field, you understand this. Not everything is for everyone. Okay? Let's just take a simple little thing like cholesterol. I know it's a boring topic, but I'll be really quick. There's so many people who have great cholesterol and they still get clogged arteries. And then you have people with very high cholesterol and they have no clogged arteries.
Mm.
So if high cholesterol caused heart attacks, then therefore everyone who had really high cholesterol would always have a heart attack. And that's just not true. In fact, I talked to my nurse practitioner. She's got low cholesterol, very low, within what they say would be normal limits. She's got one clogged artery. What?
Wow.
So, what's my point? My point is, like, get clear about the information, get clear about the facts. The medical world, they are not the gatekeepers of your health. Your awareness and consciousness. If you're going to look for a gatekeeper, it's your own awareness.
Wow, that's so cool. And you mentioned the communication with your body. In my experience, most of the people cannot even fathom what is it. Communicating with your body. Wow, how? So, Tereza, when it changed for you, or when you met with Access or the tools, how it changed your ability to communicate with your body?
You know, the first ever class
I can't hear you.
Hello? You can't hear me?
Oh, you can. Oh, I can't hear. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah. It's interesting. And now, Anthony? Can't hear me? You can, Reka?
Yes.
I wonder about Nicolette.
Nicolette says she's hearing you as well.
Okay.
Wow, that's strange.
Oh, well. Nobody loves me.
Okay, I will continue then. But thank you for this question.
What is this? StreamYard doesn't love me.
I wonder what this could be. So about communicating with our bodies, the first ever class that I took with Access Consciousness was the Access Bars, and at the beginning of the manual, one of the chapters is called "Everything Starts with a Question," right? And communicating with one's body for me is the way to practice this. The way to start a conversation is with a question. And recently, I actually had a conversation with Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, about bodies. And he, facilitated me into looking at how much I have been ignoring my body. And then he was saying, when we include our bodies and when we are present with them and when we ask our bodies questions in a truthful way, the bodies can support us, contribute to us in ways we can't imagine, And just yesterday, I was at lunch with some friends, and one of the things that I would say you can practice quite easily when it comes to deepening and being great at communicating with your body, knowing the signals, following the energy, is at a restaurant when you choose, something to eat. So I opened the menu. Actually, it was just one page. So I was looking at the menu, and I saw one of my favorite pasta dishes, cacio e pepe, which is a pasta dish that I know. So I immediately went there and said, okay, this is it. Done. Concluded, And then I realized I did not ask my body a question, as if, and that's the thing, like, what have we, for me, for example, it's as if I was afraid that something would happen when I ask my body a question, and when I maybe find out that we are in conflict, like the body would like something that I cannot provide. But what if it's not like that? What if actually our bodies are here to create more ease with us and greater possibilities too, right? And okay, so I asked my body, okay, so body, what would you like to eat? You eat. I don't, as a being, right? So, and for me, for example, without thinking, I was just like going with my finger on the menu, and I was perceiving, and this also took me years of perceiving the light and heavy, because we say what's light is true for you, makes you feel lighter, and what's heavy is a lie. So I was perceiving like the energy, and then I stopped at one dish and I was looking at it. I would never choose that. Body, is this it? Yes. And it was orgasmic. It was wonderful, So that is one example, for example. you know.
Wow, amazing. Thank you for that. And as Anthony didn't hear you at all, I assume, but it's very fortunate that our first language is energy, so, and
Yeah.
awareness. So I'm sure Anthony knows what you were talking about, but you mentioned conclusion. And I think that's also a good point to mention here. If we don't go directly into conclusions, then if we ask questions and ask our body and we work together or be together, then we truly can invite greater possibilities into our lives, and not just with our bodies, but in other areas of our life as well. So Anthony, can you please talk a little bit more about this, that how can we create in all areas of our lives greater with the communion with our bodies?
Yeah, well, I mean, again, it all goes to one of the first tools you learn in access, even in the bars class, right? And then foundation for sure, where they talk about the sources for creating your life and or your future, whether it has to do with your body, with money, relationships, family, whatever category you want to put it in. But the first component of that is question, right? So since the topic is bodies, it's constantly being in the question for the body, your body, like what is your reality with your body? Like what would you like your reality to be like with regards to your body in every area, with food, with touch, with drink, with the way your body moves through space, the clothes it wants to wear, the home and the shelter it would like to be living in, the types of, like, what color does, like, when you paint your walls, your body benefits from the colors you choose to paint it, right? So it's like really being in communion, or and communication with your body by asking a question, right? And then making the choice based on the awarenesses you get. And sometimes the awarenesses aren't so loud. Sometimes they're just like whispers. So it's also learning how to trust the whispers as well. And again, in this reality, we're so used to like putting our attention on the noise, right? And one thing I would like to say, I'm sure Tereza mentioned this in what she was talking about before, but we've known each other for several years. And I remember her back in the early days when she would take the 3-day body classes, and there was this element of like wanting to receive so much, but there was this element of like, no, I can't. Right. And for whatever the
Mm.
reason is, it's not proper, it's wrong, evil, all those different things. And so over the years, watching her grow, right, and start to actually give herself permission to receive is huge, right? And that's the contribution piece to the sources for creating your life and future. So questions number one, right? Contribution's the fourth component. Choice is second. There's always going to be possibilities, right? But contribution is about what you are willing to allow the universe to contribute to you. And the only way that that will occur is if you start to expand your receiving and giving yourself permission to receive. When we go through all the different definitions or the different roadblocks or the different things that stick us, that prevent us from receiving, maybe people have been abused before, right? So receiving to them means abuse. Maybe it goes against maybe their religion or something like that. Or like, we've twisted what receiving means. Some people feel guilty, like, well, if I receive, then that means I'll be a hedonist, and then I'll just be just obsessed about the pleasure of all the senses. And no, not, you'll be in choice. You'll be in choice, and you will know what actually works for you and what doesn't. And you'll begin to eliminate the things in your life that don't contribute, and you'll be willing to receive the things in your life that actually are a contribution to you. And it's just really getting clear. And I know it sounds simple, but you'd be surprised how disconnected that humanity is from this whole idea.
Mm. Yeah. And you mentioned the 3-day body class and the receiving. And those two together are, I think, one of the greatest gifts in this reality that we can experience receiving through our bodies and through 3 whole days. So I remember when I first saw a conversation with you many years ago, and I have not known you at that time, and I was just like, oh my God, I want to be there. I didn't even know what this class is about, 3-day body class. I didn't know the prerequisites, or if I have it, I just immediately felt that I want to be there. And that
Mm.
class was truly life-changing. And I just so in love with this class and how it can teach us or show us how to receive. So can you please
Yeah.
tell us a little bit more about how this can be a contribution to increase our receiving?
Yeah, well, I mean, you just said a lot of it. I'll share what it's been for me throughout the years as a participant of these classes, like especially in my early days of access. We're going back almost 14 years now, but it's not just, a lot of times when people think about the body, they just think about like what's happening physically with the body, pain, I don't know, digestive issues, like all these different health problems, right? But to me, the 3-day body class has been so much more than that. It In doing these classes and gifting and receiving in these classes, what began to happen for me is it was like these body processes have this like incredible way of like exposing basically your limitations, those stuck areas in your life that you've tried to work out or tried to work through, and you still can't seem to go beyond that, through any of the other techniques or modalities you've done or therapy, whatever. And so I'll never forget my first body class. It was like this one particular area in my life that I was just always stuck and I could just never change. It sort of like revealed itself to me. Like it showed itself to me like as if I was watching a movie. And there was also this energy attached to it. And I was like, so for once I got it, the energetics of why I was stuck in that particular area revealed itself to me. And that wasn't anything I can ever get to in psychotherapy or counseling or any of the other, alternative modalities that I've done. And I thought it was so cool. And I was like, wow. And it was like, I finally had an opportunity to change that particular area that I wasn't able to change for 20 something years. So it was more than just body stuff, it became more about life stuff. And that to me I was like, whoa, it's just so much more than just the physical. It really got to the mental, the beyond the mind, and into the energetics of it. And it's almost indescribable. I'm trying to explain this in a way that people can understand, and none of it is like hocus pocus. This was like a real anecdotal phenomenon that happened for me personally. And then I've also got to observe it in other people as I facilitated these classes. I got to watch you change and transform. I got to watch today's good change and transform. I got to watch so many people change and transform as a result of going through the process of gifting and receiving.
Mm, amazing. Teresa, can you recall your first experience with the 3-day body class?
Yes, thank you. As Anthony was talking, actually, I was going back to my first experience. I have to admit that it took me, I would say, 2 years until I chose my first 3-day body class. I was always a very heady type, always interested in, everything that included a lot of thinking, in deciphering and problem solving. So I was always super interested in the processes and liked receiving bars. And body classes were not something that interested me. And, as I know right now, when there's something that you avoid, when there's something that you want to ignore, there actually might be something for you. And they have been since 2020, when I took my first 3-day body class, they have been a tremendous gift. And it's taken so many, I've taken more than 10 or 15, I'm not sure anymore, but it started breaking the constant thinking, the constant algorithms in my head, and really allowing me to be more connected with my body since the first ever body class.
That's so beautiful. Teresa was talking about being a head tripper, but since she took her first body class, it changed. And that's also amazing about body processes and the 3-day body class, that you don't have to understand it. You even can, but you don't have to, and you don't have to even talk about anything. You're just there with your body and another body, and that's also amazingly beautiful how two bodies, just with the language of energy and with the energy of touch, can change everything. I also remember that first 3-day body class with Anthony. I was like, oh my God, I just changed so much. I wanted to throw out all my clothes. I wanted to move to another flat. I was like, I can't stand anything that was before. I changed so much. And that's I would be forever grateful for that class. And to you.
Thank you.
And we have, sorry, just go.
No. And, and one thing I wanted to add too is, for me, it's always just beautiful to see how from day 1 of the class to day 3, the happiness that comes into people's faces and universe. And that is amazing. So if you just want to get your happy on, it's a great place to, to create it for sure.
Absolutely.
No matter
so
how much people would resist.
A lot, yes. And if you tend to avoid this, you should be there, definitely. And we have the pleasure you coming and facilitating a 3-day body class here in Budapest. So now I would like to ask Tereza, what do you think? What is so special about Anthony and him facilitating 3-day body class? What would you say to the people who are listening to us now and considering to choose the 3-day body class in Budapest?
And this is so funny if Anthony can't hear me right now talking about him.
Yes. Anthony, now you cannot hear what Teresa will say about you.
So I have the pleasure of working closely with Anthony and being in touch with him every day or almost every day. And so I also know what he does outside of class and how he includes and works with his body, on his day-to-day life. And the Anthony that we see in the class as a facilitator, for me, it's so wonderful to know that, this is the person, he's using the tools that he's teaching for him and for his body every day and taking care of his body. So he is my inspiration also. As in outside of access classes, I always wonder, we have conversations about like what else is possible to try with bodies, with food, with movement, with experiences. And I would say that, it's Anthony's classes. All of them are very fun. And I love Anthony's humor, also the way he's facilitating. And a lot of people talk about his vulnerability. I can say that too, taking everything that somebody could judge about themselves, as in their choices or so on, and openly talk about it, about the good, the bad, and the ugly, because we've all been there, we've all experienced so much. And it can be a great contribution when we open up. So it is an inspiring space when you see the facilitator allowing themselves to open up about different things. Then I always go from his classes enriched and with a big smile on my face.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to also mention that what is the biggest contribution, one, about Anthony is his vulnerability, that he never tries to be perfect, or you never sense that someone is higher in the or better or anything. He's just himself and honoring everyone there, and it's just a so beautiful space and always fun, as you said as well. So yeah, definitely, if you want to get your happy on, then the class with Anthony is the best place to start. what would be your closing statement, question, anything to the people who are listening to us and considering to choose this 3-day body class with you here in Budapest?
Yeah, just look at where you are at this point in your life and where your body is at this point in your life, and just ask, if I choose this class, what will my life and body be like in 5 years? If I don't choose this class, what will my life and body be like in the next 5 years? Because one thing I know for sure, I've lived long enough and gone through a lot of trauma and drama throughout my life, that if you're not willing to make a different choice today, then your tomorrow won't be different. It'll be the same as it was yesterday. So, yeah, so what would it take for you to be able to follow the energy and make a different choice, even if it feels uncomfortable at first? But usually, when you get the big breakthroughs in life, it's that willingness to make those uncomfortable choices, or the choices that you're not really sure about. And if you're resisting it, it's kind of a good indication that maybe there's something available for you once you get through it or around it.
Amazing. So the class will be at the beginning of August, from the 7th to the 9th, and we will share the details in comments with you. And also, if you have any questions or you would like us to talk about bodies or regarding bodies in any topic, then just let us know in the comments, and I'm sure we are happy to jump on again and talk about it before the
Absolutely.
class, so you can have more clarity and more sense of this beautiful Mattis space, what a 3-day body class is. So I would like to thank you both, Tereza and Anthony. It was
Thank
so
you.
amazing talking to you, and you are all invited to this class. And truly, if you want your life to change, this class is it for sure to start with. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Renka.
Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you. Bye.
Bye-bye.